What's this knob do?
Hello friends and family. Okay, so this video is just going to be about some tips on just how to approach like dealing with cultures. Now, I'm not some kind of like big guru of culturalness, but just like some things that I've noticed here and things that like help me and things like that to deal with the culture. Because the Korean culture is quite unique. It's one of a kind culture. Very one of a kind. Now you know I can't help but do this dance.
I'm just wild and young, I'm just wild and young. Do it just for fun. Hello, ladies, me and Choice. Yes sir, I'm one of a kind. 제주 말은 gon' 보다 yo. Hello, yes sir, I'm one of a kind. Just wanna know, 좀 비싼 뭐.
First thing, do not automatically become defensive if something happens that would normally offend. And just know when you go somewhere different, you should expect differences. Like if you come all the way to a different country, you kind of have to expect that things are going to be different. So don't have your guard up or don't automatically become defensive. You know, this is a different culture, it's a different place. You need to always have your mind in the mindset of what's offensive in my country may not be offensive here. Also, some words in some languages sound like bad words in other languages or just like words in general. Wow, I'm so glad you made it. From my house to your house is very... 뭐지? 까갑다. 까갑. ¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Estás tratando de decir que mi casa parece como caca? ¿Caca? Váyate, Dios mío, váyate. I know, I'm so glad we could talk about that. Sorry, last time I guess I overreacted. I should learn, more Korean. Wow, sorry about the misunderstanding last time. Thank you for inviting me here again. 네가 진짜 아름다운 사람이에요. 네가. Oh. So now because you found out that I was black, you want to throw an N-word around? Get out. Okay, so I know that seems a little bit dramatic, but you see these people right here? That's right, my students. It sounds like they say things all the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did they say? And it's totally something else. And I know it seems kind of silly, but some people do react to that. So just take a chill pill, okay? In Korea, the middle finger means nothing. So some people point a lot, like with their middle finger. So I mean, like if you see something like that, I mean, in general, you shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, so they're freaking me off, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't be so quick to want to become upset about things like that. And also, try not to assume like any type of racism because Korean people will stare at you a lot. Don't assume, oh, they're staring at me because I'm this or because I'm that. They stare at everyone equally, whether you're European, African, Indian, American, Canadian, black, white, whatever. They stare at you all the same. Okay, so at first I was like, oh my gosh, is there something in my teeth? Is there something on my face? Nope, just stare at me anyways. That's what sunglasses are for. I used to be weirded out, but now I'm all like, celebrity status? Just joking. It has nothing to do with your particular appearance. It's just if you are different, then you will be stared at. Oh my gosh, so one time this person was trying to take a picture of me. 여보세요?
민경아,
언니.
뭐 하는 거야?
지금 지하철 타고 있다. 언니, 외국인 왔다.
진짜? 사진 찍어 보여줘.
didn't understand until I started staring at foreign people too. You know, this country is like a very high 90s of percentage of just Korean people. Wait, okay.
Oh my gosh, Becky, she has such a small face.
Okay, so also, like, they'll come up to you, maybe they want to touch your hair or compare skin tones. I was on the subway and a Korean person came up to me and they put their arm out like this. Wow, we are the same color. They're like, wow, he was so fascinated that we were the same color. And like all the time, my students, not when my hair's like this, but when my hair is curly, everyone, and my students will come up to me and be like, teacher, hair, feeling good. And they don't want to touch it and stuff like that. It's not malicious or anything like that. Okay, so let me tell you a story. Okay, so it's me, our Korean friend, and Nathan. Nathan is also black. He's darker than me. He's got a little bit of chocolate tones. Okay, so our Korean friend went like this on Nathan. Chocolate ice cream, and just said it, but he was so like excited and happy, and it's not malicious. Sometimes, you know, in Korea, because they're so only exposed to themselves all the time, they're not really used to dealing with other people from outside. So like maybe something we wouldn't do in the United States, you know what I mean, they might do here, but it's not malicious. I mean, he's totally joking. He thought it was like the funniest thing in the world. So then now we have this thing with each other where we do ice cream. But if you're one of those people that's quick to become offensive and quick to be like, oh my gosh, these people, blah blah blah, then you'll totally miss something. And now we joke about it all the time. Everyone's an ice cream. We call him, he's butter pecan flavored. Yeah. Okay, so I personally have not experienced any overt racism, but I know, I'm not saying that nobody in Korea is against foreigners. I mean, I know that there are some of my friends that talk to me about like people that just do overt things. They're like, foreigner, go back to your country. You know, we don't want you here, and things like that. I mean, but that's anywhere you go, they're going to be some racist people, you know what I mean? We have racist people everywhere. Racism in the United States, everywhere. Something else I think you should do is focus on the positives. There are some people that come to Korea and they realize that Korea is not for them, which is okay. I mean, everywhere is not for every person, but they just complain all the time, and it's terrible. I'm like, but you live here, you know, you have to stay here another, 7 or 8 more months to finish your contract. So find something positive, like, and then they make themselves miserable too. I'm like, in this entire country there has to be something you like, whether it be a fruit, even if it's just a lake with some nice trees outside, that you just go to that lake and refresh yourself. But don't focus on the negatives, man. Don't, like, it's just terrible. Like, just be positive in general, and then you see positive things. So don't be in Korea looking for negative things to happen, especially if you already don't like it. Don't think negative. I mean, look for the positive things. The fruit Ajima gave you a free apple today. You know what I mean? Think about positive things. Be happy. Because if you just continue to wallow in things that you dislike, then you're going to dislike it even more, and it's going to be a miserable time for you. So just find positive things. Even if there's one thing that you like about this whole country, hold on to that one thing, you know what I mean? Okay, so the next one is just try and see things from people's shoes. Like, you don't necessarily have to agree with what they're doing or think that it's right, but if you try and put your mind into their mind and say, why would they think like this, then you just agree to disagree, kind of thing. Like, you don't have to agree with everything that a culture does. You don't have to like everything that a culture does. But I know sometimes it helps if I try and think, oh, I can see why they would do that, or I can see why they would have this mindset. And then I'm like, okay, I call it a day. So things that make sense to you don't necessarily make sense to someone else, even within a country. So 2 different countries, cultures coming together, I mean, there's going to be things that you don't necessarily agree with, or you can't understand. You can't understand everything about a mindset, but you can try and understand small things. So, like, for example, people are always talking about, like, the pushing on the subway and stuff like that. As foreigners, we don't like being, like, pushed, and we don't like being in closed spaces with so many people, especially, like, being packed on the subway. And if we bump into someone, we like to say, excuse me, but I understand why they wouldn't say excuse me every time, because you're going to bump into, like, on one subway ride, maybe like 15 people. So it's like, oh sorry. And if you have to get off, sometimes we're packed so tightly that if you are not close to the door and it's time for you to go, you may not make it off and you might miss your thing, have to try and get off of the next one and go back around. So these people, they don't want to miss their subway, so they plow through that crowd. If it's not time for you to get off the subway, then just expect that people are going to go because they don't want to miss their opportunity to get off, you know. And again, I'm not saying that that I like it, but I understand why, because now, before I was all like,
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me,
and now I'm like,
no, I just said get out the way, I just said get out the way, no, I did not get out the way.
you know, I mean, hey, if they push you, push them back, you know. You don't have to get upset and like angry about it. And I know some people, it just naturally makes them angry, and that's okay, but just please don't act on it, you know what I mean? You're in a different place, a different culture, you're here, so you need to kind of, in a sense, conform to what they are doing. Also, with some things that they do culturally, I kind of understand, like in their history, their history has always been people are coming in trying to take over Korea. People are coming in trying to take over Korea. People are taking over Korea, taking over Korea, taking over Korea. So their heroes are people that kept people out, things like that. So knowing that, they kind of have that mindset sometimes of, you know, we here are Korea and you are there, you are you. You know what I mean? So I understand that because of their history, their mindset is shaped thus the way that it is. And so, I mean, I understand that. I'm like, okay, if something happened, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? What am I going to do about it? Why sulk? Why get angry? Why cause problems? Just let it go, you know what I mean? And move on. Okay, so I hope that this video helped you to maybe learn about mindsets that you should have and maybe ways that you should approach the Korean culture if you are coming here, or maybe if you're going to be in a different culture, maybe some of these things could help. I don't know. I hope it does. Thank you for watching. And if you would like to ask questions, please ask questions. And if you like this video and you'd like to subscribe for more videos, then subscribe. Okay. I'll see you later, alligator. After bye, crocodile.